Hey, welcome to another BRAP rant. It's Friday, guys. For the life of me, I don't know why I am talking in that kind of voice, but it's Tequila Friday. After a long work week, I'm indulging myself in tequila. Now, I'm not drinking tequila straight. I'm actually drinking margaritas, which, by the way, are very refreshing beverages and are fantastic. I do on occasion. I will. I will actually make a margarita where I am Anchorman tequila. I will make. I actually will chill. Like I've big Don Julio fan, by the way. Patron's not bad, but Patron's not my favorite. Azul and Don Julio are my favorite tequilas. Azul is a really good tequila, by the way. If you have never tried it, highly recommend it. And Patron's not bad, but whatever. But yeah, I'm a big Don Julio fan. So on occasion, I will, I'll pour like probably like a maybe like two fingers worth of tequila in a shaker, chill it with some fresh limes and some ice, and sip on it. And it's great sipping tequila. Tequila is actually meant to be sipped on. I don't know if anyone knows that, but it is. It really is. So I'm sorry. I'm about a couple minutes late. I had two gentlemen stop by my house, knocked on the door, and they were with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I feel bad for these two gentlemen. They're out in the rain. It's like a fucking monsoon where I live right now, by the way. Like it is fucking pouring cats and dogs. It's crazy. But I felt bad for these guys. They're out here trying to spread the word. And I had to tell them, hey, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I have a BRAP rant to attend to. And not to get a religious discussion, but I'm a Roman Catholic. So, anyhow, welcome to another BRAP rant. And I'm going to talk about. I don't know who Don Pedro is, but hey, what's up, Fastback? Yes, Anchorman Free Tequila is the best tequila. So, real quick, guys, if you haven't had the opportunity to check out this week's BRAP podcast on Wednesdays, which goes live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please go back and check that out. We had Tim Dog in the house. Tim actually was our special guest for the week. And actually, Matt from Nolan Nerdcast stopped by too towards the end of the podcast. And we had some great gaming conversation. We talked about Crackdown 3, talked about Nintendo, and some other miscellaneous gaming topics. So check it out. And if you haven't done so already, give us a sub and like. And you know what? I just want to say this. If you're going to unsub, at least let us know why you're going to unsub, because if it's something that you feel like, the show can improve upon, hey, that's fine, unsub, but leave a message, let us know why. We're always looking to put on the best show possible here at BRAP. But don't unsub because you may not enjoy one particular topic we're talking about. I mean, like, put it this way. Do you stop watching Game of Thrones because you may not like one particular episode of Game of Thrones? No, probably not. You shouldn't do the same for the podcast, for the podcast that you listen to. So, on that note, big shout out to everyone in the live chat, Anchorman, and Fastback. It's a pleasure to see you guys. All right, so I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing making the rounds on the Twitter. It's something that I saw yesterday that came up with regards to a tweet from from Cliffy B, the man behind Lawbreakers. Which, by the way, Lawbreakers will have an open beta this weekend on PC and PlayStation 4. Go out and get it. Well, you're not going to go out and get it. You're just going to download the beta, but I'm kind of on the fence, though. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I would want that. I'm kind of on the fence, really. I'm not sure if I want to pick up um, or try the beta. I might give it a try though. I might give it a try on PS4 tonight, maybe. But we'll see. So, oops, hearing some background there. It's from my app that I have open right now. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Appreciate the support. Appreciate you stopping by. So Anchor said, I made the mistake once, told Mormons to come by on a Tuesday to chat. Didn't realize that Tuesday was Christmas Day. Yes. And they wanted to come inside my house and, you know, um, you know, speak, you talk about the good word. And, I just, yeah, it's not to get into a religious discussion, but, I'm drinking tequila right now. I think the last thing that they probably want to do is come into a house with a man drinking tequila. And they asked me if I knew any neighbors struggling or, um, are going through any tough times. And I'm just like, I don't know. And if I did, I wouldn't share that information anyway. But that's just me. So, all right. So I know I'm just rambling on here, but it's a rant. I can do that. Oh yeah. So Cliffy B tweeted out, I will say that Xbox fanboys, whenever I talk about at Lawbreakers, y'all come out of the fucking woodwork. Appreciate the interest. Smiley face, hearts. Daniel, that's funny. So Daniel in the live chat, says, first Rand becomes a traitor, now Cliffy. Will he also be kicked out of this imaginary community? Daniel, that's a great question. I'm not sure if Cliffy B's going to get kicked out of the community. Although I think Cliffy B was probably, for some fanboys, kicked out of the community when he announced that Lawbreakers was not coming to Xbox. At least not right now. There's still the possibility that that game will come to the Xbox. So Cliffy B tweets this out, and basically what he's responding to is, some comments of his comments are made on Twitter about Lawbreakers not being on the Xbox. And he says, for perspective, we are a new team making a new IP with a small team of 2 platforms. Well, I'm sorry, with a small team on 2 platforms. 3 would have been impossible at launch. And I get that. I get it. Small team, coding, yada, yada. Look, I'm not a game developer, but I understand that, the game development costs money, time, resources. You got to have a dedicated team, yada, yada, yada. I get that. And then Craven God, big shout out to Craven God, tweets back and says, I don't understand. I hear from Microsoft, how one person can get the PC game straight to Scorpio or Xbox One X in one day or a few hours. And Cliff's reply is, yeah, it's not that simple at all. Whoever said that is full of shit. Or full of it, but he's basically implying full of shit. If you didn't understand my reading his tweet in that voice, I'll say it again. Cliffy B basically said, yeah, it's not that simple at all. Whomever said that is full of it. Now, he's presumably saying that the people who have said this are full of shit, and the people who have said this would be game developers. So is Cliffy B, is he calling game developers liars here? Interesting. Because if we go back to some of the things that game developers have said, Monolith, who's the developer behind the new Shadow of Mordor, if we've seen tweets from the people behind, we know about Gears of War, we know about Forza, we know how easy those games were to port over. Hey, what's up, Nelscody? Nelscody says he linked in the lead developer later too. He did. But I guess I find this interesting because he's calling out other developers saying they're full of it, but yet we've had instances of developers, Monolith. I'll give an example of Monolith, and I'll use Monolith as an example because they're not a first party developer for Microsoft. And Monolith has basically said, I think Monolith said it took about a day for them to port over the new Mordor to the Xbox One X. So my question is, as I take a drink, is Cliffy B, is he maybe not in the know? Yes, Monolith. I get that, Anchorman. Just like it's Wolfenstein. Anchor likes to do this. Likes to correct my English. Although English isn't my first language, Anchor. I don't know if you knew that. So, so he basically says they're full of it. And Craven got response, well, I think they're saying that if you're using DX12 again, I have no idea. Thanks for the clarity of the subject. And it's interesting because I go back to one thing. As Anchor said, Monolith. And Monolith and some other developers, talked about, Gears of War and Forza. They've all been able to port these games over fairly quickly. And so we have real life examples of games that were ported over quickly. So I was kind of confused when Cliffy B said this. And I'm not saying that he's full of shit or he's lying. Could be he's not in the know. Could be that because he has a smaller team that he's just not in the know. So it's interesting. So he mentions this. He actually, he actually tags in the lead developer on the game too. Mentions it, and it mentions how it's easy to, or it's not as easy as people say, and yada yada yada. But I guess I keep going back to, and I'm just going back and reading some of these tweets. It looks like there's a tweet there about. Let's go to this tweet here because I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the tweet with the lead developer over at his game studio, but I'm not finding it right now, so I apologize because I don't know where the F it is. Yep, I don't see it. Okay, it's there somewhere. And he does say that it's a business decision. Only 65 employees and had to pick a large install base and only doing one console for now. And I get that. I get the business side of it. I guess I was just I thought it was kind of curious for him to say that the other people are saying that he's calling out other devs and saying they're full of it when other developers have come out and said, no, we've done this. And it's not just first party. There's third party developers that have said this. Monolith, Anchor, have said this. They've come out and said this. So, so they're examples of that. So, I'm not sure if he's lying, if Cliffy's, maybe in the know or has something, some information we don't know about. But it could be something as simple as he just doesn't know, maybe, or maybe it's his assumption. I don't know. It's very curious. And considering that there's evidence out there that suggests otherwise, I'm not so sure that why he would say that. And maybe it's not as easy to build it from scratch and port over. And I would understand that. Maybe building it from scratch isn't as simple as if you already have the game running on the Xbox One S and you're porting it over to the Xbox One X. Xbox One S, Xbox One X. Microsoft should release an Xbox One E, and then imagine the marketing they could do with that. So yeah, Nels Cody says, remember he has to make the game run on X1 too. So that's what I'm saying. So Nels Cody, this is my. I guess my point is he could be referring to um, building it from scratch and having it run on Xbox One S and then porting it over to Xbox One X. It could be. It's probably easier to do it from the S to the X. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I just found it interesting. I'm still kind of thinking this over because I just I was reading it. I'm like, well, why would he say this, considering the evidence that we have? And what do you guys think? Everyone in the live chat. I mean, do you guys think that he maybe doesn't know? Because look, we all know. I mean, there are developers out there who have said, hey, it's easy to do. Forza was up in a couple hours. Monolith had Mordor up in a day. And it could be that those again, and we could also attribute that to those developers having larger studios. Tell you what, this is a pretty damn good margarita. Daniel says in the live chat, the Far Cry team had no dev kits a few weeks ago. I don't think they all have them. And Fastback says may not take long to port, but takes time to optimize, possibly. Sorry, guys, I'm just Nels. Nels because I trust Cliff over anyone else. He was never a bullshitter. Yeah, Nels. But here's the thing, we have third-party developers who have come out and said this. Who have? I mean, again, I go back to Monolith. Sorry, Anchor. Go back to Monolith. I mean, they've done this. So I mean, there's evidence there. I mean, Anthony Karma. Hey, Anthony, what's going on, man? I don't think I've seen you in the live chat. This is your first time at BRAP. Welcome to the show. Anthony says, "Are there's still bad blood with him and Microsoft?" I'm not so sure if it's bad blood. I know there were some issues at Epic. I know Cliffy didn't want to make. Uh, I know he didn't want to turn out gear so quickly as Microsoft did. But that's another conversation. Another conversation. So yeah, and Daniel's right. He says, well, it's not Xbox first party praising the port process. We have third party devs saying this, indies, all kinds of developers. Yeah, and that's my point, Daniel. Like we have people, people. It'd be one thing if it was just Microsoft first party. Then we could be like, nah, okay, well that's expected. It's more Microsoft first party, and they're gonna toe the line, and and if anyone can do it, it's gonna be first party. But the thing is, we have third party and other indie developers coming out and saying this. So Nels Coney, I'm not saying that he's I'm not saying he's a bullshit. I'm just saying he may not know. He may not have that experience yet, just to speak out on that. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just reading some of the stuff in the chat right now because, as always, the chat is live and popping. So, yeah, we don't know. We don't know his experience. We don't know his if he's had experience with this. I mean, he probably doesn't have dev kit, so I don't know. I just again, I just found this to be interesting um, considering that he is a game developer and he's kind of calling bullshit on other game developers when we have when we have evidence to suggest otherwise. But again, I don't know. Look, I'm not a game developer. I don't know how easy it is to port from the Xbox One S to the Xbox One X. Hey, Jason, what's going on? Jason Nansen's in the live chat. Says Cliff knows game development, and Microsoft can easily pay devs to say what Microsoft wants him to say, and Cliffy is breaking the ice. I don't know. I don't like to. I don't like to speculate that Microsoft's paying people, game developers, off to say certain things. I can tell you that if that was a situation that was presented to third-party devs, there would potentially be some issues in conversations I've had with developers. So I don't know. I don't necessarily agree. I think that that's what's going on here. I know people like to say that so like Sony is the whole argument with Sony and the whole Destiny thing, which is nonsense. I don't think Monolith has nothing to benefit from by saying, "Hey, this is going to run great." Because here's the thing, they have their reputation. They're not a Microsoft studio. They have their reputation on the line here. And if Monolith was found out lying or taking a bribe, I want you to think about the ramifications of that to that development studio. They'd be ruined forever, and no developer wants that. Jason says if games can be ported so fast, where are all the games now? Again, it's I'm not a developer. Um, my guess is that again, all this revolves around DirectX 12, the API. That's not the only API game developers use. Um, and it's also a matter of if developers want to take the time to do it. I mean, look, it's one thing if it's one thing for them to do it to say it's easy. It's one thing for them to say, you know what, we want to put the resources behind it. We want to take the day or two to do it. I mean, that's totally up to the developer. You guys have to remember that, all this stuff costs extra money in a sense. All right, I'm trying to keep up with the live chat. Here's a great conversation going on right now. Anchorman is saying that's like saying Sony paid all the media to say positive shit about them. Ed, what's going on, man? Ed says I can say good things about it. When are they paying me? Sony can pay me too. Yeah, and that's true, Daniel. Like the console, also, in fairness, look, guys, the console wasn't out too. Like, let's put this thing in perspective. We talk about where the games, the console's not out yet, and that's a great point, Daniel. We can have that conversation when the console comes out, if and when we don't see those games being ported over easily. Nels Cody says if they got a BG ported so fast, where is it if it's so easy? I'm not sure. Or what do you mean by BG, Nels Cody? It's interesting because I'll say this much. And Fastback brought up a good point. Fanboys getting triggered on both sides, and they are. I've seen this on Twitter with regard to this issue of Cliffy B calling out developers. Fanboys on the Sony side are saying Cliffy B's not lying, and fanboys on the Xbox side are saying he's lying. I'm going to say that maybe the truth lies somewhere in the middle, and maybe he doesn't have experience doing this. Maybe he doesn't, and that's fine. Nelson, you're talking about PUBG. PUBG is actually running on Xbox One X right now. It's running at 30 to 40 frames per second in 100-man servers right now on the Xbox One X. And Jason, that's a great point. There's going to be a difference. Porting games comes down to old and new games. I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, So Ed Comment says, as he could take 4 off the PC version and make the Xbox version, but that's not. PC is the priority platform for staff, has to be for that. So, and that's a great point. And he's also got to make it for the PlayStation 4. So, although I do think that at some point there could be, and he mentioned this could be a Xbox version as well. Endless Echo, I'm not so sure for that. PlayStation fans don't care about this game. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading. There's a lot of great comments in the comment section right now. So if I'm pausing in between, it's because I'm reading all the great stuff. There's some really good comments. There's good stuff in here. All right, so that's all I really have to say about the about this particular topic. I will say this. I mean, there's a business side too, and I saw this too, where the fanboys and the Xbox side reps were kind of giving Cliffy a hard time about why this game isn't on Xbox, and he's a small studio. And look, I totally get it. You have 60. I mean, you have 60 million PlayStation 4s out there. I mean, if you're a small development studio and you're looking to make a game to a console, that's probably where you're going to go. Endless Echo, the majority of PS fans hyping this game. No, they're not. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that no one is excited for this game. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's some PlayStation fans. I mean, we can't use hyperbole to make assumptions of what people are hyping or not hyping. Is it a game where where there's a lot of people talking about it on PlayStation 4 or for the console, for PC for the matter? No, there's some buzz out there. I know some PlayStation owners that are looking forward to this game, but I know some people that played it at PAX and didn't think the game played that well. So Daniel says this is great marketing for Cliffy. It is. It is. It is, because it gets people talking about his game. And in the age of the internet, the age of social media, this is a great grassroots approach, a great way to get people. And I might add, this is a day before your game's about to have a public beta on PC and PS4. It's a great way. It's a great way to generate a little buzz. Some people say, "Oh, this is the game that people were talking about. This is a game that people were talking about on Twitter. This is a game that people have been talking about on podcasts. I might check this out." Anyhow, so I want to talk about PUBG, Players Unknown Battleground. B Money, what's going on, B Money? So I want to talk about PUBG, and we did have some PUBG news. PUBG is actually running at 40 to 30 frames per second on the Xbox One X on a 100-man server, and we know how demanding that game can be. It's just a massive game, massive world. And I think that, so when Microsoft announces as coming to the Xbox One X or Xbox One, it's not, they don't have the exclusive console rights. I don't think they do, at least. And if they do, please let me know. But I don't think they do. And Anchor says PUBG will be huge on Xbox. Look how Arc exploded when when it hit game preview. So that's I gotta be. So I've been thinking about this because we talked about this on the BRAP podcast this past Wednesday. Which, if you haven't checked out, please go check it out. We had Tim Dog on as a special guest, and we had a great discussion on some video game related topics. But we did talk about PUBG, and PUBG's like hit like 6 million now, I think, on PC. And give me a sec here, guys. I'm typing something. Anchor says it was always going to come to PS4 and Xbox. Just Xbox is getting it first. That is, yeah, and that's okay. So that's great. I mean, so I guess let me ask you this, Anchor, because you brought this up. Do you think, and to the rest of the rest of the live chat, do you think this is a game that Microsoft should lock up as an exclusive? I mean, it's a shooter. It's you know, it's an online game. You can play with your friends. It's open world. I mean, think about this. I mean, it kind of fits. It kind of fits, and I'm not trying to. I don't want to stereotype the Xbox and call it the dude bro box or the shooter box, but we do know that um, that shooters and online multiplayer games tend to do pretty well on the Xbox. And I was thinking about this after the podcast on Wednesday, and I thought to myself, with Mixer, Xbox Live, this game could probably be a big deal. This game can probably be huge for the Xbox, and I think that we were talking about this on Wednesday. We were like, okay, so they have the Xbox One X version running at 30 to 40 frames a second on a 100-man server. How's it going to run on the Xbox One S? And I brought up something, and I said, well, maybe they're going to have smaller servers. And then B Money brought up a good point. He said something to the effect, well, B Money said something to the effect that well, how are they going to tell, which console is the S and which one's the X? How are they going to divvy that up? And that's a great point, because how would they do that? And would it make sense to do that? B says B Money's in the live chat. He said it wouldn't be worth the money because they have their own publisher, and that's true, they do. But B Money, what if Microsoft showed up there with a dump truck full of money? You don't think they would do it? I mean, they might. You never know. Anything's possible when money's involved. By the way, B Money, if you can, sir, kind sir, please check your DM on Twitter. Actually, please check the group DM with me, you, and Eric. Thank you. So I was thinking about this. I really think this is going to be potentially a big game for Microsoft and for the Xbox One, and I'll tell you why. It's an online game. Play with your friends. It's a shooter, and we have Mixer. And I'll say this: like, my biggest criticisms of Microsoft has been their first party needs to improve. Their exclusive content needs to improve. But where they've really excelled this console gen is in services, in features, things like Mixer. I think Mixer is a really cool feature, by the way. I think a lot of people are going to really be. You're going to see a lot of people streaming Destiny 2, by the way, on Mixer. The ability to show multiple screens on a stream. I think that's really cool. You can see different perspectives. And I think especially in a game like Destiny 2, that bodes well. But I think PUBG. I think having Mixer and having that added to the game, I think it's going to be big. I think people are really going to kind of latch onto that from that social aspect of streaming and sharing and playing with your friends. I think that's going to be big for them. I think that's going to be a differentiator, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if PUBG was. And let me know what you guys think about this. I wouldn't be surprised. And like Anchor said, it's going to come to the PlayStation 4. It always was. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were more players, if it did better on the Xbox platform than it did the PS4, for some of the reasons that I mentioned, like Mixer. Yes, Anchor says Xbox is killing in features this gen, game preview, refunds, backwards compatibility, etc. They are, Anchor. They are. But I'll tell you this: we don't play refunds. We don't play backwards. Well, you do play backwards compatibility. We don't play features per se, and that's been my biggest issue with Microsoft. Look. I'm a gamer. We play games. The features are nice. They're great, option. But at the end of the day, if Microsoft could get back to how aggressive they were during the days of the OG Xbox and Anchor, you are a young lad, my friend. You might have been even younger when the OG Xbox came out. Um, but yeah, I mean, Xbox was very aggressive in putting out games and first party content and exclusives on the OG Xbox. I brought this up, like Tim and I were talking before we went live on BRAP this past Wednesday, and we said this, like fucking Ninja Gaiden was an exclusive on the Xbox platform. That was huge considering how big the install base at the PlayStation 2 for the PlayStation 2 at the time was. And Elsconi, I agree with you. PlayStation is killing in games as gem. They are. We talked about this a lot on BRAP. And by the way, guys, it's like I'll say this. It's like if and this is the issue I have sometimes with fanboys. You can't be passionate about something and not be critical of it either. If a company is fucking up, if a company's not doing something, speak out against it. You spent thousands of dollars on gaming as a hobby. It's fucking expensive. These companies have to earn your money. And I sound like a broken record because I say this on every BRAP rant. But you know what? I'm going to say it on every BRAP rant moving forward because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. Like, these companies have to earn your money. They have to earn your money. Jason, yeah, you're right. I mean, Microsoft did make Mixer app on. I mean, Phil even said he'd be open to it for it to going to PlayStation, and I get that, but it's not there right now. And who knows if Sony would even say, "Hey, bring Mixer on." I mean, I don't even know if they would allow that. Maybe they would. And B, you're right. B money. This is my point. B, and you hit the nail on the head here. If we could have fucking both, and we're not having both. Sony's not giving us the features. Microsoft is. Microsoft's not giving us all those killer games that Sony's putting out. You know, we know about Nintendo. Nintendo is giving us some great first party content. And has an interesting take on console gaming. And I shouldn't say interesting, but Nintendo. Look, I don't care what anyone says. Nintendo's back. Nintendo's back. They sold 4.7 million consoles in a fiscal quarter. They sold 5 million consoles in 1 year, the first year of the Wii U. Think about that. Jason says, let's just have a play box. Why not, right? Ed comment says, Nintendo is back, baby. Nintendo is back. I'm telling you, I was one of those naysayers. I didn't believe. And B Money, you remember this. B Money, you said it. You said that they were going to come back. You said that, they were going to be kind of be in the mix again, and they are. Yeah, B Money said it. Try to tell y'all people sleeping on old Nintendo. You're right, B Money. They were sleeping. I'm telling you, Nintendo. As much as I get frustrated with Nintendo sometimes, there's that saying: the numbers don't lie. Look at Mario Kart 8. I think it sold 3.7 million copies since April. We know about the success of Zelda. ARMS has sold over 1 million. I believe Splatoon in Japan has sold 670,000 copies. Debuted number 2 in the UK. And you got to remember something. The one thing Nintendo has to its advantage when you think about the cost of development, their games aren't as expensive to develop per se as some of the big AAA titles that we see out there. I remember being in a I remember being in a party chat with Phil Spencer one time, and the conversation was going on was AAA games, and he said something to the effect that with these big AAA games, you pretty much have to sell 5 million copies to break even. That's the model now. That's how expensive it is to develop these big AAA titles. So when Nintendo's selling 3.7 million in like 2 months, they're bigger than money. Daniel says the Switch won me back to Nintendo after a decade without a Nintendo console. Daniel, I'm with you, man. I think the last console that I owned was a GameCube. Ed Comment says ARM sold to about twice what Street Fighter V sold in a month. It's true. It did. And Street Fighter V was unfortunately piecemeal together. But kind of back to PUBG. So I think Microsoft getting this game, I think that's a positive for them. And, they need some positive. They need some wins, and I think it's going to be a big game for the Xbox. I really do. After the conversation we had on the BRAP podcast on Wednesday, and after thinking about this, I think we just with some of those features like Mixer, and we know about Xbox Live and how robust Xbox Live is. I really think that this game is going to thrive and do well on the Xbox One, and I think this might be the one game for the Xbox One X that people look back upon when they look at the release of the Xbox One X, and they think about, well, what was that one game that everyone played on the Xbox One X? And it was PUBG, and it makes me think about what were some of the games that we played on Xbox Live when the OG Xbox came out. Rainbow Six, that comes to mind. Obviously Halo 2, but before there was a Halo 2, I mean, there was other titles that came out. Mech Assault, and so I think that PUBG for the Xbox One X, when people think about one of the first games that people really played, I think obviously it's going to play best on. I think what's going to have. Yeah, B Money, thank you, by the way. By the way, guys, look, we don't like, if you're gonna come and hang out with us in live chat, that's cool, but we're not gonna do the fanboy stuff. That's not this kind of podcast. It's not what we do. We keep it real. We don't. You look, everyone at BRAP. We're all gamers. We're all multi console owners. We all spend a lot of money on gaming. And we just genuinely have a love for gaming. We do. We have a love for gaming. We love the industry. A lot of us have been gaming for a long time. I've been gaming for fucking 35 years. Anyhow, the hammer got dropped. Thank you, B Money. Wow, B says 500,000, 500,000 people bought Street Fighter 2 on Switch. Dude, I'm telling you. Look, if the Switch is kind of like that bridge between console and portable, and that's like the brilliance of it. I mean, I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you like how much like I love the fact that I can play games on the fly on the Switch. I mean, think about this. I mean, like we this console gen, like we've always last console gen we had indie games. But this console gen we've really kind of seen indies really come to the forefront. Like for me, like indie developers have kind of filled that vacuum that the AA developers left when their doors shut down, when THQ shut down. And damn, Jason says I'm going to buy an Xbox One X so I don't have to buy a PC, because here in Australia PCs are $3,000. Damn, that sucks, man. But I tell you what, though, Jason, if it wasn't for the GameStop flip, I wasn't going to buy an Xbox One X, because when I was looking at the initial $500 investment, when I was looking at buying a TV, a 4K TV, which, by the way, I'm sorry. Like I know people are like, oh, you get a 4K TV for like $500. Fuck that. I'm not buying a $500 4K TV. I'm not going to do it. It's going to be garbage. It's going to be garbage. I don't want that. It's going to have like a 60 like hertz refresh rate. I don't want that. It's garbage. At the very least, I'd probably end up spending like $1,300. So I was probably looking at an $1,800 investment. And in the US, $1,800 PC is fucking beast. But I'm going to get the X now because I did the GameStop flip and I'm happy. So yeah, B Money says, look at the yeah, I'll have to check that out, B Money. I'll have to look at the Sony 900E. I mean, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I mean, Daniel, you're right. I mean, Nintendo doing big numbers despite supply issues is impressive. I mean, they're forecasting 10 million 10 million units sold by, end of fiscal March 2018. Their fiscal year goes from March to March. So, you know what? Look, guys, Mario Odyssey comes out on October 27th. It's going to be the top selling game that released October 27th. And we know what Zelda sold. I promise you, Mario Odyssey is going to fucking sell gangbusters. It is going to sell gangbusters. And I'm telling you, because Mario is the franchise for Nintendo. And Matt, just like for me being able to play Mario on the fly, like a good Mario game on the fly, it just the nostalgia, just the excitement. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Hey, B Money, I might need to, B Money. I was thinking with the shortage of Nintendo Switch, I might do a Switch flip because I think I think my local GameStops, I think they're going to be coming in next week. They'll get like 7 in, and they'll sell them out like immediately. But yeah, I think they're back. I mean, they're doing very well. I'm excited, and a lot of Japanese developers. I think was it you, Nelsconi? Someone's in the live chat said there's a lot of Japanese developers are trying to get on board, and they are. We know the Japanese market is kind of shied away from consoles. They're going more portable, and this is kind of like the perfect bridge for Nintendo. For them to kind of really kind of be just be able to sell in both markets, the East and the West. So, because we know again in Japan they're looking at they really play more on the they do less console gaming and play more on mobile and whatnot. So B Money says we might have to move that. That might be the move this holiday, especially if they can't keep up with supply. B, I'm telling you, B, we should start stacking. We got to start stocking supplies, man. We need to be a Nintendo retailer on the side for the holiday when people can't buy those Switches and it's the hottest item. They'll come to us, and they'll pay insane amount of money. I think that's a great idea. Well, I just want to say something real quick. This is a great time to be a gamer. I want you guys to think about this. We have so when I grew up playing gaming, when I grew up when I was growing up, when I was a kid, and the first console I ever played was the Atari, the OG Atari. Like the Atari with the wood grain paneling and all that stuff. Then there was ColecoVision, had that with the little I forget the race. Was it pole position was Atari. I believe. But anyhow, there was ColecoVision, there was television, little dial pads, whatever. And I remember that. I remember, sitting down and playing all these games on the Atari, and that's a time where we used to like judge a game by its box art. Like if the box art was hot, if the box art looked good, that's the game bought. Right? Times have changed. But so I remember that. I remember the industry dying. But there's always been multiple consoles. And my point is, like, this is a great time to be a gamer. We have 3 companies putting out products, trying to earn their business, putting out content. Some are doing it better than others on the content side. Sony, in this case, I'll use Sony as an example. Some are doing it better on the services side with features. I would argue probably Microsoft's doing a better job in that regard. But regardless of whatever platform you play on, you should not hate on another piece of plastic. If you're an Xbox fan, you shouldn't hate on PlayStation. If you're a PlayStation fan, you shouldn't hate on Xbox. And I'll tell you why. Because you want both to be successful, because both are going to push each other. Competition is good in the gaming industry. And this is a fucking great time to be a gamer. I mean, look at all the games that are out now. I mean, my backlog is real. I mean, my backlog is real. We talked about the games that are dropping in August. Hey, B Money, if you wouldn't mind listing some of the games in the live chat that are dropping in August that are big, I would appreciate it, because there's a lot of games coming. Some are multi-plat, some are exclusives, but there's fucking games coming. You know, and I keep saying this to people, like, we don't play plastic, we play software. And so, you know, we should all be excited. It's a great time to be a gamer. It really is. I mean, Daniel Hellblade comes out, Ninja Theory. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I think that game's going to release at $40 retail. Agents of Mayhem drops, that's right. Yakuza. Yes. If you own a PlayStation 4, please pick up Yakuza 0. What a fucking great game. And actually, you know what? I'm going to play it. Okay, wait a minute. Jason, you just said Paranormal Activity PlayStation VR trailer just dropped. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm probably not going to look at that because I don't really fuck with horror games. But that's got to look crazy. Yeah, B Money, you're right. $30. I'm sorry. Uncharted Lost Odyssey drops. Mario Rabbids. I mean, there's so much great content coming in August. It's seriously, this is the best time to be a gamer. It really is. Endless Echo, I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I gotta check that out, Jason. I gotta check that out. Al, the drug cat is in the house. Big shout out to Al, by the way. This guy, he knows all the deals. Hi, cat guy. Hey, B Money, thank you for banning Endless. I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. I really don't. So, Al, we're talking about all the great games that are dropping this August, and there's a lot of them. We talked about Ninja Theory's Hellblade, Mario Rabbids. The new Uncharted's coming out, Uncharted Lost Legacy. Yeah, Anchor. Yeah. Guys, if you see him, just ban him. You know, Al, I know you're a mod here. Anchor, I need to make you one too. Yeah, Al, I agree, man. I think Hellblade's gonna be huge. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait. Uncharted will be huge. Yes. Yeah. I mean, August is, and this is my point. Like all the bickering and shit and all the fanboy shit is stupid. There's so much great, I can't even talk, great games coming out in August. Like that's what we should be talking about. That's what we should be focused on. Oh, and Life is Strange, Daniel. You're right. Life is Strange. I forgot about that. That is coming out. That is just, I mean, and we all know about October 27th. Assassin's Creed Origin, Wolfenstein, Mario Odyssey. B Money said, "You're right. Absolver comes out. Absolver looks good." Oh, that's right. Nels Coney says, "Al's here. Band's about to be dropped." Al, let me tell you something. If you come in here and you start doing your fanboy nonsense, um, Al will drop the hammer like MC Hammer. Tacoma comes out. Yeah, all I gotta say is I'm gonna be broke come August. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna be broke as a joke. You know, I hope GameStop has another flip situation soon because there's some games I need to flip. But anyhow, well, that's this evening's BRAP rant. And hey, just big shout out to everyone in the live chat. By the way, thank all you guys for coming in and shooting the shit with me and hanging out with me while I enjoy tequila. But yeah, just remember, guys. August is going to be a crazy a month for gaming, and the backlog is going to increase come August for sure, for sure. But you know what, I gotta say, guys, this might be. And what do you guys think? Like 2017 is definitely the best year in gaming this console gen, and probably one of the best years that at least I can remember for some time. What do you guys think? Before we wrap up, I'd like to get everyone's thought on that. Is 2017 the best year in this generation's game? This generation's uh, or this generation, and is it the best that you've in a long time that you remember? Daniel says it's for me. It's the best of my rather young life. I hear that, man. Yeah, I think that. Look, I for me, it's because I've been doing this for 35 years. I can't say it's the best that I've ever experienced, but it's definitely up there. I mean, I can't remember a year where we've had so much. I mean, content drop. I mean, Anchorman 2014 was your best year because you don't own a PlayStation 4, or do you? Maybe you don't. But if you don't, that's why 2014 is your best. Nels County says, just refill your glass, Enrique. Keep going. No, Nels, I can't, man. I've had two margaritas. like, I usually stop at two. I'm a lightweight. I don't drink a lot. You can't when you have kids. You can't. Like I got like fucking three little kids, and yeah, I can't do that. Oh, Anchorman, you do have a PS4. Well, I don't know. I don't know why 2014 is the best for you, but hey, you know what, man? That's fine. That's fine. To each his own. I would disagree with you, and I would love for you to come on Anchor on the podcast sometime and discuss why 2014 is better than 2017. But you know what? I got to say, like, in my most recent memory, I got to say 2017 is probably the strongest year I can remember. It may take for me may take some time for me to really sit down and think about it to really figure out whether or not it is, in fact, the best year in gaming from what I remember. But Oh yeah. So okay, I'm sorry, Anchor. 2014 for Anchorman is the best year in gaming because of Fallout 4, which Fallout 4 was a great game. It was great. I love. By the way, Anchor, I love Bethesda. I've actually been to their headquarters. It's actually up the street from where I work and close to where I live. And they have huge. They have the Brotherhood of Steel statue. They wouldn't let me take a picture of it for some reason. When you walk in the main lobby, they have this big Brotherhood of Steel statue. It's huge. Somebody I know works there. I used to work with him, and he works there at Bethesda, and I'm connected with some people there. Anyhow, but yeah, it's that was a great game. Great game. Yeah, Titanfall, Wolfenstein, Sunset Overdrive. I mean, that's true. It's a great list, but I would argue, Anchor. Look at what we have now. We have Horizon Zero Dawn. We had Yakuza Zero. We had what else do we have? Neo, Gravity Rush 2, Nier Automata. We had Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I mean, that game is amazing. That might be the game of the console gen. We're gonna have Mario Odyssey. We're gonna have Ori and the Blind Forest 2. We're gonna have, okay, what else am I missing? Forza 7. We're gonna have Hellblade. Jeez, I mean, so many games. I just, yeah, it's insane. Do I take lunch breaks with Todd Howard? No, I don't take lunch breaks with him. I don't. I don't. But I do talk to their director of talent acquisition a lot, and she's a nice person, very interesting. I know when I've caught her on a bad day. So, um, yeah, yeah. I mean, Daniel, you're right. We get a new Shadow of Mordor. We get a new Wolfenstein, and Wolfie looks fucking amazing. By the way, I think this Wolfie's gonna be much better than the previous Wolfie in 2000. You know, and that Wolfie was like, I can't believe it's like trending Metacritic like 7.9. Like to me, that's like that game was one of my favorite games this console gen. So Anchor says Forza Horizon. You know, Anchor, I look, when you throw Nintendo in 2017, man, that to me that's why 2017 trumps 2014. I mean, literally. I mean, so 2017, like Nels Coney says in the live chat, mops 2014 when you include Nintendo. I mean, you just I just don't know how you can debate that. If Red Dead 2 dropped, Daniel, that would have, I would say it's the best year ever in gaming. I would easily say that. So, all right. Well, I need to wrap up the this rant. By the way, I love doing these rants because it really gives me an opportunity to really interact with a lot of the people in the live chat. So I just want to thank everyone in the live chat: Danielle, Nels Coney, Anchorman, B Money, Fastback, um, Al, the drunk cat. Al, we got to get you back on, man. We miss having you on. You got to hop on sometime and talk some video games. Jason Nansen, big shout out to you, man. I know you popped in. Ed comment, big shout out to you. Yeah, just a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. We definitely appreciate it. Poobs shoes, thank you. And yeah, look, we'll be back. We'll be back next Wednesday. Hey, you know what? If there's some news that hits, yeah, thanks, Bunches. Thanks, Bunches. Where's Roach? Yeah, hey, Anchor, I actually might hop on. Well, let me ask you something, Anchor. So Anchor just asked me if he just said, "Hey, hop on PS4, play some Lawbreakers." Anchor, what do you think of Lawbreakers? Because I have Yakuza Zero queued right now. All right, I'm just waiting for Anchor's response, and he hasn't responded yet. And I'm still waiting for Anchor to respond to live chat, and Anchor hasn't responded yet, and I'm still waiting. All right, so yeah, I love doing these. I just love interacting with everyone in the live chat. I may need to do something like, I don't know. I may need to. I may need to come up with a different. Oh, here we go. Game modes are what sells this game. Okay, but is it fun? Like Anchor, are you having a good time? Like what's going on? Like where is Elaine? All right, I got okay. So I'll download it then. Anchor. I'll probably hop on for a little bit, try it out. Try it out. Where's Roach? All right. So yeah. So everyone, thank you again for stopping by in this impromptu BRAP rant. This tequila induced BRAP rant. Oh yeah. Daniel just said Majima Goro is calling for you, Enrique. Let me tell you something. Majima Goro, badass, badass, but he's got a nice little sense of humor to him. Great game, just a great. Seriously, Yakuza Zero is a great game. And I miss Sega. I love that they put this game out. I love that we're getting it. Um, that we've gotten in the States. But yeah, Daniel, he is great. I mean, just his he's got this badass like demeanor to him, but he's got like this like he's almost like comedy relief in a little bit. No, I don't have the breakdancing fighting style yet. I don't have that yet, but but like seriously, this game, the character variety in this game is just amazing. Like like you have like these serious like tough yakuza characters, and then you have these like quirky like characters, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like at some point, the game takes like this, and this I think this is the brilliance of Yakuza Zero. It has these like serious moments. It really does, and then it has these moments of like comedy where you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like you go into one of the clubs and there's a guy dancing in his underwear, and it's so over the top. It's so over the top, and actually, and that's the brilliance of the game. Like even like the characters can be somewhat over the top. The fighting, the combat can be a little over the top. The voiceovers are a little bit over the top, but it's so well done. It's so well done. I love it. It's a great game. It's a great game. If you own a PlayStation 4, you should definitely pick it up. It's yeah. So everyone, so we'll be back live. Oh, Al, Al, wow, Al just said Yakuza Zero is the best game of the year. Woo! Hmm. I don't know, Al. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a fucking damn good game, but I don't know if I would put it up over Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, Al. I got to finish the game. I can't say that without finishing the game. But Al, I will. So Daniel says top five for me. Daniel, I will say from what I played, definitely top five without a shadow of a doubt. Definitely top five. So, um, but yeah, all right. So I got to wrap up this podcast. I want to play some Lawbreakers, and hey everyone, thank you everyone for coming by and shooting the shit and talking some video games. Hey, remember to if you haven't hit that like button. I only got 3 likes. Hit that like button. Everyone hit it now. Everyone at one time. Do it now. Bueller. And if you haven't subbed, give us a sub. And hey, look, if you decide to unsub, just tell us why. Tell us why. If it's because you don't like one episode we did or one BRAP rant you didn't like, let us know why. Let us know why. And I'll say this, you don't ever, if you watch Game of Thrones and you watch one episode of Game of Thrones you don't like, do you stop watching Game of Thrones as a series? No, you don't. And this is a series. This is a series of entertainment. And I'm Batman. And I just want to say, it's game on. And Al, do you remember that video I did about the calls? About going to Best Buy, Al? Do you remember that video? It was fantastic. Black Friday. All right, everyone. So we'll be back Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the regular BRAP. And there could be another BRAP rant. The pallets. Al, the pallets were stacked. I was counting boxes. Al says Al says that's the best episode. But let me tell you something, Al. I just yeah, that was great. I had a lot of fun doing that, by the way. That was a lot of fun. It really was. So yeah, just remember, guys, we'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the crew. I'll be back with the regular panel. And oh, by the way, we're gonna have Rand Althor 19 on as our special guest this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't checked out the replay for this week's BRAP, we had Tim Dog on. Definitely check that out. Great conversations. And who knows? I may do a BRAP this weekend or maybe before Wednesday if some other stuff comes up. So, hey, everyone, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time gaming. And remember, gamers, to game on and have fun and blah, 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 and all that other happy shit, because that's what gaming's all about. No, seriously. Just remember, gaming's all about having fun. Just have fun and enjoy. Just have fun doing it, because that's what it's all about. And Al, by the way, tequila's starting to kick in. That's why I have to go. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Peace.